So you've purchased yourself a motorhome and you've decided to pull a vehicle behind it. What vehicle will you choose?
Well, if you choose a 4x4 Jeep Wrangler JK, you've come to the right place because Cheryl and I are about to do a series on converting this Jeep Wrangler into a Toad.
Ribbit. Ribbit.
Not that kind of Toad. Hey, welcome back to part 2 in our Toad conversion series. Today we'll be installing the ReadyBrake cable system and the ReadyBrake breakaway system. The reason for the cables is because the tow bar that we're using, the ReadyBrake, it works on a surge brake, meaning that when I step on the brakes in the RV through cables, it will activate the brake in the Jeep, so that the RV is not solely responsible for stopping the Jeep. Now, there are other ways to do it. There are the electronic boxes that you can buy that are kind of buku bucks. There's nothing wrong with them, don't get me wrong, it's just that Cheryl and I are cheap. And we've been doing it this way for 10 years and we haven't had any problems. So, without further ado, let's get on to it. Everything you see here is included in the ReadyBrake cable installation kit, and all of it's going into the Wrangler except for this cable. This cable gets mounted to the tow bar itself, and we'll be covering that later in another video. Now, speaking of the tow bar, if you buy the ReadyBrake Elite tow bar, this kit is included with that tow bar, so there's no need to purchase it separately. And remember, everything we're doing to convert this Wrangler into a Toad, it's all listed in the description box underneath the video with links. We're going to need to drill a hole directly behind the brake pedal. And we've already verified on the engine compartment side, there's pretty much nothing that's going to get in our way.
So we cut a little hole in the carpet.
Alright, there's our pilot hole. So I am just going to go check and make sure that we didn't hit anything in the engine compartment.
So the drill is through, and it didn't hit anything in the compartment, and there's Chuck's hand. And there's the drill bit.
So now we're going to enlarge the hole to 5/16.
No, that was easy.
Alright, we're going to end up cutting more of this carpet away. You want to make sure that you have clearance, because in our Liberty, we didn't have enough clearance. We were coming back on the highway one day, and Cheryl said, it just feels funny. We pulled over, it was sticking. The cable is going to come through here, so we will cut more of this away once we put in the breakaway. But right now, let's continue on with this. The next step is going to be, you're going to take the steel cable, aircraft cable, out of the housing. It's not needed just yet, because we're going to route the housing. This goes on forever. So Alright, then we're going to take one of the nuts and one of the washers off, and this is going to go through the hole that we just drilled. Alright, so just slide it through the hole that you made. Make sure you leave one nut and one washer on. Alright, now we're going to go inside and tighten it down.
So there it is coming through the footwell. So now we're going to put the washer and the nut back on.
Who moved?
Me.
Okay. Now the trick is, when there's only 2 people in one of you filming, trying to get this nut on without pushing it all the way through the firewall.
Ta-da!
I think that's strong enough.
There you go. There it is installed.
Cable's going to come through and attach around here. When we step on that brake in the RV, cable's going to pull. Going to apply the brakes in the Jeep. Simplicity at its best. All right, so it comes out of the firewall. We brought it up onto the top of the frame on the driver's side. We zip tied it right there before the shock. Continued along the frame, brought it to the side as we approached the radiator.
Comes out here. And we'll go to there. Right now it's just hanging down.
All right, now's the time where we're going to finish it out here, where the cable will be hanging out. Now, in order to do this, it has to go through this nylon fitting. Now, what we did on the Jeep Liberty, we just took a piece of angled metal like this, and we put it right in, bolted it right up, and it comes out. This is what we probably recommend you should do, but this isn't what Cheryl and I are doing. We wanted to be a little bit differently. We saw this done online, but of course there was no explanation, so we drilled a 3/8 hole right here. We're coming straight through it. Now, in order to do that, we needed to make some spacers, because this is a 55-degree angle, and you want it coming out straight. So what we ended up doing was we went to Home Depot, Probably get these at any home improvement store. And picked up a 1-inch nylon spacer. We cut it. Not easily either. Like that. That's a 55-degree angle. Because you want it coming out straight, so what we're going to end up doing, we're putting one on this end. Pushing it on. Bear with me here. Putting it through. And we're taking the other spacer, putting it on. And then we're taking the nut, and where it went, and we're tightening that on. Now, I think that's a more professional looking fit, but I'm not gonna lie. That was not easy to make those spacers. Now the Conduit, it has metal going around it, so you're gonna wanna make sure that you get the right pliers to cut it. So that it doesn't crush it, because that cable has to go through. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna get it to the size it needs to be, and I'm gonna pop it into the back of the fitting here, cut it, pop it in, and then we'll move on. Okay. And that's all there is to it. You cut it to size, and then just push it right into the fitting. It's not gonna go anywhere. All right, once you pull this out of the Conduit, set it off to the side, because you don't want to have it start separating here. You're never going to get it through to the passenger compartment. So you're just going to slip it right in and just feed it right through. Don't force it. It should just go, but it's got to get around some of the curves that you put in.
So look, where'd it go?
Yeah.
Just one moment. It's under there. Okay.
Now, before we can finish hooking up the ReadyBrake, seeing how it hooks to the brake pedal the exact same way with the same piece that the BreakAway does, we're going to run the BreakAway and then hook them up together. What the BreakAway is, if for some reason the tow bar breaks or something lets go and the RV and the Jeep become separated, the BreakAway is going to be set off. It will apply the brakes and will not release them. It will stop the vehicle. Last thing you want to do is have your Jeep or any vehicle break away from your RV and watch it pass you. So
Not funny.
no, it's not. So we're going to install that now and then finish the video by hooking them both into the brake pedal. We just drilled the pilot hole for the BreakAway. It needs to be a 1/2 inch away from the ReadyBrake, which we are. So now we're going to drill it to size. Okay, we're going to drill it out to 3/16 now. And there you go. So this is the BreakAway unit. It is clearly marked which way it goes. That's pointed to the motorhome. Don't do it in reverse or it's not going to work. So you want to make sure motorhome is pointed to the front. This is where we're going to mount it. This is convenient because I'll be able to hide it up here. We're going to get some kind of a mount for it. And when we're on the road, it will come out through down here. So it's very convenient. All right, so what I'm going to do is pre-mark it. You need to drill a 1/8 pilot hole for the 4 self-tapping hex screws it comes with. There's 6 mounting holes, but you're only going to use 4 of them. So it comes with self-tapping screws. We pre-drilled the top, so let me get the second one started. Now, as long as this is facing a motorhome, this can be at any angle. Doesn't really matter. But for the Wrangler, this seems to be the best position for it.
So we installed the BreakAway, and the cable's running this way. It pretty much follows the same path as the ReadyBrake.
Okay, see this hole here? This nylon bolt goes in it. What that does is it prevents accidental activation. So you tighten it down. Make sure that the nut's not causing it to stop. Tighten it down. And then you tighten the bolt down on it. Then you tighten the nut down on it to make sure that it doesn't move at all. That's just stopping it. As far as greasing this, 2 to 3 times a year. You squirt it in there, it will push dirt and water out, so keep it free moving in there. Now the 2 items that we didn't use that were included with the ReadyStop BreakAway are, on the left, that is the wire loop that will mount to the motorhome frame. And on the right is the tow bar harness cable. These will both be installed in the last video of this series. So when the BreakAway comes through, you need to make a loop. And then you tape it to the brake pedal here. And then it continues on. So what we're going to do now is we're going to take the brake tie, And we're gonna lock them, both the BreakAway and the ReadyBrake, onto the pedal. All right, so this is coming off of the loop. It's coming into that hole. We're gonna cross over the brake pedal and go to this lower hole over here. Right, just like that. Now we're gonna take this, coming from the ReadyBrake, I'm gonna go the opposite direction. I crisscross it also. Pull it all the way. I'm just gonna make an X with the 4 holes. Then you're gonna take the other bar. Once that's on, you're gonna come up the back with a washer. Twice. It's been a long day. Then the lock washer. Then the nut. And you'll do that on both sides. All right, now as I tighten it down, this top one's gonna compress that X where the 2 wires came through. That's what's gonna hold it. So I have a combination wrench on the back. I'm gonna try to put even pressure on both sides. All right, so we're just tightening it up now.
Nice and clear right now.
All right. Those cables are going nowhere.
Snug as a bug.
In a rug. All right. Now, I'm gonna take a Dremel. I'm gonna cut these off, the remainders. You wanna make sure you cut the right one. Let's do it.
It's like fireworks.
All right. Now, we'll just test it. I'm gonna step on it and you'll see it stick its tongue out in the front. Hey.
Hey!
Want to see it stick its tongue out?
Sure!
Nah, 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 nah. As this day comes to an end, so doesn't step 2 on the Toad conversion. We installed the ReadyBrake cable, we installed the BreakAway. So we will be moving on to step 3, which is going to be the wiring for doing the lights, the blinkers, and the brakes. So if you like what you saw, we'd appreciate a thumbs up. And if you haven't subscribed, well, oh, come on, you know you want to. It's pain-free. So until we do step 3, the end.